Ready, ready, ready.
Good morning.
Hello, everyone. Cheers. Happy Coffee and Connection Day.
Yes.
Or chocolate milk.
Happy Wednesday. Chocolate milk.
Yeah. Half and half. Half and half. Half and half. I'll put some coffee in.
We actually had to go to Walmart on our way back home from
Everyone's
our
gonna
workout
think I'm a diva.
and leave early from our workout 15 minutes so that he could have his chocolate milk.
I didn't have any chocolate milk. I couldn't drink just plain coffee on this thing. That'd be terrible.
Yeah, and it's funny because we always take my coffee that I don't end up drinking from today. We'll put it in the fridge for his coffee tomorrow. And we saw in HEB these cold brew,
Dunkin' Donuts.
yeah,
Dunkin' Donuts brand
Pockets or
cold
whatever.
brew pockets. Yeah.
we just like brewing gallons of coffee.
Because we're driving to California. And so we're about to make a trip, a 21-hour driving trip, and I'm like, this is awesome. I'm just gonna get like a pitcher of this cold brew coffee. I'm gonna fill it halfway up with all the Fairlife chocolate milk, and then I'll just be driving. Family, I need another.
And, and how much did you drink of it yesterday?
Well, yesterday I had 3 glasses of it.
A
But
pitcher.
I actually poured the last bit out because I had accidentally, when I tried to fish out one of the little like tea bag type things that are in there, it burst open and it put coffee grounds all into my coffee. So I kind of left the last little bit in the bottom of the
You still drank it all?
pitcher. No, I finished it all. I poured it out of the sink.
Oh, you.
The last little bit.
Oh.
I drank a lot of it. I drank like 3 glasses of it. I poured the last little bit. I didn't want the grounds in my body. I didn't know if that was good for me. But check
Good
this out.
morning, Annalise.
It has been so hot here. It's been so hot. And this morning we went and worked out at Legacy, and we got out of the car and we're like, whoa, I think it's cold out here. It was like 75. But
Was it that low?
yeah. But it was so cool because what happens is you don't even realize it. We're like committed to just being outside and living life anyway, even if it's 115 degrees.
Yep.
But it takes a lot of mental energy to be able to enjoy your time outside when it's that hot. And so it was kind of nice just to
No big
suddenly
deal.
be outside and you don't even realize like, oh my gosh, like it feels good out here. And so we're like, we got to do Coffee and Connection outside today
Yeah.
because it feels so nice.
But we should probably wrap it up because it's gonna get hot.
Oh my gosh, Whitney's a comedian all of a sudden this morning. A comedian juice in there. That was a legit joke. Nice job.
No, I'm normally funny.
No. Not on purpose.
So rude. Oh yes, this family only has room for one comedian. It's Paige.
Yeah, Paige is the one. I noticed that our nice graphic is back from our Stop Negative Self-Talk live videos. That's not what this is. This is actually Coffee and Connection.
Can we take it down?
Well, yeah, but we lose our
Let's take it down.
we lose our Fitbar logo then.
All right, Jake's fired. Sorry, you're no longer doing production. We're hiring someone for a production team.
Yeah, it pays 0. Apply at
But you get to work with us,
fit-bar.com.
Jake's really funny, so.
That's recorded. I get the look whenever I'm not looking at my phone. Yes, Jason, we are live.
Jason! Bring me back some fish, please.
I was trying to explain that you don't keep the fish. But when he's like, those look so good.
Yes, actually, last night I had raw salmon and raw tuna, and rice. It was like a sushi bowl or something. And I was like, oh my gosh, one of our best and favorite people are catching all this fish. Why doesn't he just bring some back?
That's a great question. I'm going to leave that one to you, Jason.
I have a feeling I'm gonna get declined.
Oh, what's going on, Gary? It's nice to see you on here, too. I keep seeing your promos for your beach volleyball events down in Houston, and I kind of wish I could attend.
Oh,
However,
nice.
the distance is prohibitive at this point, but we do plan on making it down there for one of those things. It looks like it's fun what you got going on there. Very cool.
So Jason and Renee are in Canada right now, and And if you're not friends with them, you should go friend them on Instagram at mountainfly.
Yeah.
They have amazing pictures. And they're going to be going on Mount Langley trip with us.
Yes.
And Gary, your dad.
Mm-hmm.
And one special friend from Austin is making the flight. Jennifer, hopefully you're on here. If not, big shout out to you.
Sure, she'll watch the replay.
We're about 3 weeks away.
Yeah. And we went down to REI and got her boots the other day, so she's all set.
She's so excited. It was so
yeah.
cute, so funny. Jennifer, just how excited, just authentically excited. She was telling every employee
Every employee.
at REI, I'm gonna go climb a mountain. Hey, these boots are so that I can go climb a mountain. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
We're excited.
It made me
It's gonna
excited
be so fun.
to see her that excited.
So what are we talking about today?
Well, today we were going to talk about powerful versus positive thinking, and that's what the podcast is coming out on tomorrow. We'll release that podcast, I believe. And so the idea is that.
By the way, yes, Jason, it is live.
Just quick, I told him.
Oh, okay.
So quick summary. Basically, the idea is that all the stuff that happens in our life, we kind of tell ourselves a story about it. So we're like sitting on the bench right now doing Coffee and Connection. That's a fact. That's what we're doing. We could think like, oh my gosh, my life is so hard, my job is so hard, I have to get on here and do Coffee and Connection. Or we could think, this is awesome. We get to be on TV, kind of TV. I call it TV. And talking to the iPad and connecting with people that are in a different state, and different country, if Jason's still in Canada. And this is our first international Coffee and Connection. This is awesome. We just went international. But those are all thoughts you can have too. All of them are really just kind of stories. And so the idea of positive thinking is like you've got this story that everything's negative and you believe it's true, but you try to think positive about it. Versus powerful thinking is where you recognize that no, everything we're telling is just a story in our head, and so we should just choose the hopeful one, the one that's positive. So, to get you guys started in thinking about how some examples of where this might have shown up for you, is I want you to first think about this game that I know Whitney likes to play when we're out at like Starbucks or something like that, and we're drinking coffee, doing work, whatever, looking over at the next table, and you see someone over there. And she likes to make up a story about their life. Like what are they doing? Is this their first date? Are they, here on a job interview? Like trying to kind of guess at what's going on at this other table. And so I didn't know if any of you guys have ever played that game where you just see strangers and you try to make up a story about what they're doing, and if you enjoy that game.
Our life is just so boring, we have to look at other people's life and make up stories to entertain ourselves.
Is that a helpful story, Whitney?
No. It's just fun to be like, oh, yeah. So, but how does that tie into powerful?
Well,
thinking?
so imagine this. Imagine if you're looking at like some couple at another table, and you decide,
They're for sure.
Oh my gosh, he is a jerk. I'm pretty sure that he is mean to her, and that this is the only time that he's nice, and he's here trying to apologize, but he shouldn't, because all the things that he did wrong are so bad. And looking over at the girl, and like, she shouldn't take him back. She shouldn't accept him. He's a bad person, and that's the story, like, for whatever reason that Whitney feels like telling herself. Well, it would be very ridiculous if you stood up and confronted him, right, on that. Listen, sir, I don't think that you should be, saying this, whatever, because what you're saying is just a story, right? Like, you're making it up. It's not really what's happening. And you also wouldn't want to go over there and say, listen, I'm just really trying to think positive thoughts about your terrible relationship, and I'm trying to keep things. And that's really what positive thinking is. It would be like if you believed that terrible story that you just made up about this other couple, and then you try to convince yourself that it was okay. No, I'm not going to let this affect my day. I'm going to think it's positive. They're probably happy. And you keep repeating these positive thoughts, thinking that you're trying to overcome this negative thought that's also made up, right? Like, everything's made up. Mm-hmm. And that's where it switches to powerful thinking, is when you recognize, no, I made up the first story too. Like I made up all the stories, and so I'm not trying to convince myself of this positive thought about this couple at Starbucks that I just invented their horrible life story that's going on. You realize like, oh no, it's a story the whole time.
Good morning, Susan. Jason said that he's been training with pizza and what else?
I've been lots of pizza, rowing, and fishing. That should translate to hiking at 14,000 feet. That's his.
No doubt.
That's his
Jason,
theory.
You're gonna be leading the crew.
Jason, oh my gosh, Mike Igloy's on here? Mike, what is going on, man? I haven't seen you forever, but we are headed out to California soon, so get in touch. Let's say hello.
Put it on the calendar.
Let's surf or something, or play some volleyball or whatever. We actually plan on coming by 16th Street to see Carrie Ray. If she checks on this, go there too. We'll come say hello.
No, so we were talking about powerful versus positive thinking in our 3-day training last week, and we had a lot of questions about it. And for me, it's taken a long time to understand the difference, because I have been guilty of seeing a lot of different circumstances in my own life as negative. Like 100%, this is a crappy situation, or I should feel bad about this situation because it is legit bad, negative. And what we're learning is that all events are neutral. Every single event is neutral. Otherwise, every person in the entire world would feel the same emotion if that person died, or whatever the event was.
You have a dark place to go.
Well, I feel like death is like a common no, that's always negative.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So I just went to the most extreme. You're right.
But we're all gonna do it. So.
Anyway, and so you're taking like Jake's saying, you're taking a negative story, and you're trying to believing that it's negative, and you're trying to make yourself feel better about it by having positive thoughts, and your brain rejects it because it's like, no, this is already negative. I've already accepted it as negative. Is Jason?
Yes. Jason makes up stories in his head all the time in the river when people don't say hello back to him.
What's a negative story?
I can't read all of it because it keeps. I think I got it. I'm convinced they are dill holes. That's
I don't know what that is. I don't think it's a compliment.
It's a word that he made up. It's negative.
Oh, okay.
Or it's neutral, depending on the story you tell yourself about it.
Yeah, but that's actually a perfect example, because another story that could be absolutely true that would probably serve us all better is, oh, they didn't hear me. They're having a horrible day. Maybe I'm really intimidating and I just scared them. Or
I think a better one would be, maybe I just seem like so cool. Maybe they follow me on Instagram. Maybe they recognize Mountain Fly. And they're just so starstruck in the moment of like, oh my gosh, there's the great angler from Instagram. And they think like, man, I shouldn't be saying hi. I probably don't want to bother him. Like, let's just let him have his peace. Probably people are always hounding him for his fly fishing secrets.
Yeah, but
that's probably what's going on.
The true point is that they're all stories. All of them. Some serve us, some don't serve us. But either way, if we think that someone not saying hi is a negative event, rather than just neutral, like it is what it is, it's not negative or it's not positive. If they say hi, it's not negative or it's positive.
The great news is that Jason's story plays right into our next game. Check this out. It's a fun game. It's titled that, so it has to be. So this is the way it works. The first thing you're gonna do is think of a difficult event from the last 24 hours. Maybe you were fly fishing and someone didn't say hello back when you waved to them. And so then once you have that situation firmly in your mind, then you're gonna decide, why are you grateful that it happened?
What's yours, Jake?
In the last 24 hours, well, let me think. Well, I was coaching some volleyball last night, and we got beat pretty bad. And I mean, it's not really that. it's hard to make that negative. I really don't have very many negative things from the last 24 hours. But we did lose. And we lost to a really good team, Crawford. Sometimes Jeff watches these things, the coach at Crawford. They
awesome.
Smoked us because they have a consistently better coach than our team does. I only work with them on Tuesday and Thursday nights, and I'm not really a volleyball coach these days. Indoor. But the reason I'm grateful that happened was that I think it was it actually was a great lesson for the girls that were playing. They did a lot of good things within the game. I told them, I want you to hit the ball hard, whether it goes in, out, I don't care. In the net, under the net, I don't care. I want you to keep hitting the ball hard. And they did. They kept hitting the ball hard. Now, it just went out a lot. So, score-wise, we ended up losing the game. So, it feels a little bit like a negative, but the reality is I'm grateful that it went that way because they actually did learn a lot about the importance of being aggressive and showing up in that way. What about you, Whit? I'll watch this while you talk.
Why did you say you were grateful for it?
Oh, because they learned the lesson. They got the opportunity to hit the ball out, to really show up in a way, even though it made the outcome negative of the.
Got it.
I guess the outcome was technically neutral. It just depends on what story I tell about it.
Yesterday I drove an hour. I drove to Austin to take a yoga class, and so I was really excited. I was meeting someone after. And we ended up rescheduling, her and I ended up rescheduling a lot before. And so I was like, well, if I have another reason to go to Austin than just have one meeting, then it's worth it. And so I got there, and my pass to take the yoga for free had ended. And it was $28 for a drop-in class.
That sounds like a neutral price.
My brain freaked out.
Did you tell yourself a negative story about $28?
I did. I was like, you guys should be shut down. This should be illegal.
This is highway robbery.
So I threw her pens at her. No, I didn't. But anyway, I didn't get to work out, and I was genuinely mad because I worked out a little bit yesterday morning, but it was not a legit workout. Not the workout that I want to prepare for Mount Langley.
Not like pizza and rowing.
Yes. But anyway, so I just had to switch my mind from being disappointed. I had my yoga mat, my backpack. I had driven an hour. I was really amped up to take this class because it's hot yoga with weights. And then I get there and I'm like, oh, well, if my pass ended, then I guess I won't be doing yoga.
So why were you grateful for that?
Because I went to Starbucks and ended up getting to meet with the girl I was meeting there. She ended up being there. So we actually talked for a lot longer, had awesome conversation. She gave me some free samples of product that her business is selling on Amazon.
Oh, cool.
And it was a good connection. But it wasn't rushed, which it would have been.
Yeah, so it turns out that Core Power Yoga charging $28 for one drop-in class is actually great.
Yes.
Because it gives you more time with your
Keep
friends.
charging it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. This whole thing always reminds me of when I was teaching. There's a person that's always in charge of the discipline. Like they're the dean, right? They're the ones that you go to when things are bad. And at the school that I taught at, you had to have your shirt tucked in. And no kids like to have their shirt tucked in. Like it is such a battle every day to have these kids' shirts tucked in. And I don't know why it's such a big deal, but it really, no one wants to have their shirt tucked in. So constantly they're untucking their shirt. And so whenever someone would take over the dean, it was kind of funny to see the process. Because at first they're like all, like taking it lightly. Hey guys, tuck your shirts in, tuck your shirts in, tuck your shirts in. Well, you're kind of managing your mind like, oh, this is just kids that want to have their shirts untucked. But you could see that like over time, when it's the 1,000th, 10,000th time that you've told the same kid, hey, I need you to tuck your shirt in. And he like fake tucks it in, and then as soon as you turn your back, he like pulls it back out again. And then you turn back around and you're like, what? That it becomes about you. Like you could watch it becoming about them, and they start to take it more and more personally. It's inciting a little bit more emotion in them as time goes on. Like, hey, why are you attacking me? And you watch this transition in their personality when really the whole time the kid's never attacking the dean. The kid may love the dean. It may be even a mentor of theirs, someone they really look up to. but it's hard to keep that story neutral when there's another story at play. Kids like to untuck their shirt, and that's really the end of the story. You know, there's nothing else going on, but you can watch it like become this like personal attack. And someplace I look back at that, it's a nice action, untucking the shirt, and it's just one of those things where, like, you know, deep down you're around kids enough to know that it's nothing personal. They are just untucking their shirt. However, it is hard to keep believing that story when you ask them over and over and over, and they're basically like, you start to feel like they're like, no, I won't tuck in my shirt. All of a sudden it's like defiance, you know, that's coming after you. So
Yeah.
just one of those interesting examples that pops up of where we can kind of get ourselves in trouble with the story that we're telling.
Yeah, I love this quote. I think it's Byron Katie says, no one hurts my feelings. That's my job. And just like Jake's saying, it's not about, and even if it is the kid being defiant, who cares? It's when we have thoughts about what they're trying to do, or because they don't like us, or they're trying to offend me, that it's our thinking that actually is what hurts our feelings. Whereas if Jake's saying, you're like, oh, well, the kid just doesn't want to tuck his shirt in. Unfortunately, these are the rules, the policies.
Yeah, and
so-
you still enforce it. You still make them tuck their shirt in. It's just
Totally.
it doesn't ruin your day. That's
Right.
the only. You don't go into lunch like, oh, there's kids, you know, like eating your food like all angry because the kids are all against you, you know, whatever. It's just like, oh no,
Yeah.
actually it's part of the job of being a teacher is that you continue to tell the kids follow the rules.
Yeah.
Jennifer started watching.
What's
we were
that,
talking
Jennifer?
about you a second ago. I don't know if you're like
Yeah.
caught up live or if you're watching it from back, but if you missed it, we were talking about you, Jennifer. Check it out.
All good stuff.
Always.
Yeah, so there's a lot to unpack for
Jason said,
powerful and
I felt
positive
that way
thinking.
when June won't come to me when called. Definitely personal. I do the same thing with the puppy. You're like, I'm like, that's a classic example. It's like, this dog is being defiant. What the dog's trying to take a stand or something?
Yeah, it's great practice, emotional adulthood.
Speaking of which, we get our dog back today.
I'm so excited
He's been at obedience school.
for 10 days.
Yeah. But
And I
today,
didn't realize how much you could miss a dog.
he's back in the family. Maybe
Yeah.
we should go live
And
tomorrow
he's
just to show
grown
you.
so much. We keep getting these videos, and I'm like, whose dog is she showing us? Oh my gosh, that is Duke.
Yeah.
He's probably grown like, I don't know, maybe 3 inches.
Yeah, he's
Hi.
probably like 400 pounds now.
Okay, no, he's not.
That's a story I'm telling myself.
Anyway, we're really excited, and Paige will
Keep
really
looking
be grateful because she's gonna be in the back seat with Duke during our
all the way to
road trip.
California.
But he'll be a lot more pleasant.
Yes,
so,
but we got him. Hopefully, he'll be obedient now.
yeah, it's gonna be fun.
So no more taking it personally when he bites me on the hand.
All right, well, it's getting hot out here, so
It is. I hope you enjoyed the construction across the lake. That you can hear that. Okay.
yeah.
That's actually Allie. If you watch this thing, that's your uncle that's working over there. It's Majin Construction building that thing. I'm sure they're gonna build a sweet house because they always build sweet stuff.
Jason, it was so nice for you and Renee to join us. We can't wait to hear about your trip to Canada. It looks amazing. Didn't get any feedback on the fish making it to California, so I'm going to
Yeah.
assume that's a negative.
I don't know.
But that could just be a story I'm telling myself.
Yeah, and so we'll hopefully next time we see everyone on here, we'll be from California.
We'll be on the beach.
Oh yeah, we should get on the beach and do this.
We're totally getting on the beach.
All right.
So
Done.
next
I'm in.
Coffee and Connection, you'll be at the beach with us.
Maybe we'll be at 16th Street with Mike Igloy.
It's going to be tough to beat this scenery,
We'll do our best.
but we'll try and find you a good view.
See you guys.
Have an awesome day.